Gareth Jones On Speed episode 200 was originally presented as a live video webcast on USTREAM on Sunday the 9th of June 2013 and reached an audience of 2,000 people.
Hello people, and welcome to the on-air disaster. This is Gareth Jones On Speed, episode 200.
You could not have planned that better.
I played the wrong piece of music.
So you played the wrong piece of music and then adopted the expression that Alan Partridge had in that episode where the keyboard starts acting up.
Well, I guess something
and
just
then
fell
the
over.
very second that you hit the thing that makes it all go live, something fell over.
I think my car, my Sora, there was a
your
model
toy
of my
car.
Sora sitting on there, which fell off with the stress of broadcasting, which I'm experiencing as well. Are you guys actually watching us? Hello, I'm Gareth Jones. This is Zog.
Hello.
And this is Richard Porter.
Hello.
I'm shouting.
All right.
Let's just have a look. Leighton Jones says, having trouble getting the live feed, don't know if it's me or my device. Well, we'll soon find out, Leighton. Let's hope you do get to join us. If you would like to join us on Gareth Jones On Speed, because you can take part in this programme yourself, all you have to do is, if you're on Twitter, use the hashtag #OnSpeed. I don't actually have a hashtag, that's an asterisk, but please use hashtag #OnSpeed on Twitter. On Facebook, go to the Gareth Jones On Speed Facebook fan page. So go on Facebook, search Gareth Jones On Speed, you'll find it. We'll be reading your messages from there. And if you're following this channel on what's it called? USTREAM. Then you can use the social stream on USTREAM and we can see, if I put my glasses on, what it is you're telling us. Let's have a look. FOM fan Ben says, not as good as I was in F1 Digital and Eurosport.
So you're already not as good as...
If we're
so
better
your
than
career is bottoming out.
Hang on, it's broken. F1.
No,
Ben isn't as good as he was in.
Oh, I see. You're talking about Ben,
Yeah.
the commentator Ben.
Yeah.
I thought they were talking about our levels.
Back on.
If we're
Sorry,
yeah.
if you read that one, a Twitter user. Is that Twitter? Is this where is this?
This
coming
is
from?
the
This is
social.
Ustream, all right, so
USTREAM social stream.
I recognise that chap
Live
off
reading
Twitter.
of Twitter,
156
folks.
Sharknose. I'd like to give a big shout out to the US government and all at GCHQ who are tuned into this stream as a topical joke to start us off.
Quite deliberately, I've removed. There was a Gareth Jones On Speed flag flying there, but it made us look like some sort of jihadist group. So, if the CIA are monitoring this, then we're not a jihad, are we?
No. Yeah, but you said no swearing. You didn't say anything about not mentioning Semtex.
True.
Anything subversive.
True.
Political Islam. Let's just steer clear of any of that.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Hello and welcome to the show. We're going to be on air for about an hour, I think, or as long as our ciders last. In fact, let's have a cheers to celebrate the fact that we are on air. Richard?
I have a glass of water usually
you
because I
lightweight.
don't really like cider, and also I'm driving, so
Yeah,
cheers.
setting a good example.
And what
Cheers.
Richard is driving, we'll find out a little bit later on.
It's a beer lorry. It's not actually, though, because I just there's a siren outside.
Live siren.
It's good, but it's a live siren, so it's real. The man from Mercedes PR department, Rob Halloway. Hello, Rob, if you're watching and listening. Said that he would sponsor this show to the tune of a crate of beer.
No,
if I'd get sourced on air. And say something libelous. So there we go. Mercedes, the car company that likes to send other people to prison.
Well done, thank you very much indeed. Someone else said, was it Suman Roy, said that he would give a £10 donation to a charity of our choice if I said Lumsden Bum Hat on air, but that's actually your invention, Lumsden Bum Hat.
It is my invention, yes. I'm going to take the credit for it.
Explain what it is for those who don't know. We know who Lumsden Bum Hat is.
Oh yeah, we're
Right, Lumsden Bum Hat is what I've been calling Ted Kravitz, Sky F1's pit lane reporter. And the reason is because Ted Kravitz isn't his real name. And a few years ago...
Edmund Slotover.
Is that what it is? See, I still can't remember it. And a few years ago, I was going to say, did you know that Ted Kravitz's real name is blank on Twitter? And then couldn't remember what it was. So I just made something up. And I made up Lumsden Bum Hat. And it stuck. To the point, I think I've mentioned this on the show before, I went to a glittery thing, the Autosport Awards. A bit of a do, yeah. A bit of a boozy do. And bless him, Ted Kravitz, who I'd never met before, came across the room at the champagne reception and said, "Hello, are you Richard? I'm Lumsden Bum Hat." So ever since then, Ted Kravitz, all right in my book. He's a lovely man, in fact, he really is.
Yeah,
he raced with us.
Although he can't be watching this because he's in Canada doing his pit lane job, so we could say he's a complete dick. No one would know. But he's not. He's lovely.
But let's remember that this programme is hopefully going to be available as an audio podcast and maybe even a video podcast. Sometime I look down to check that we're recording then at some point over the next few days. So I will tell Ted and he can watch what you said about it.
Just to reiterate, Ted, I do like you. It's impossible to say that and not sound sarcastic, because it's not sarcastic.
Lumsden Bum Hat. So, Suman Roy, your 10 quid can go to my charity of choice, which is the Samaritans. Everybody needs a friend. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate that. All right, you know what to do. You can tweet us. You can, if you use the hashtag #OnSpeed, we are monitoring all the OnSpeed dialogue on Twitter. Go to the Facebook fan page.
We're like a little splinter branch of the CIA here in North London, monitoring your transmissions.
I prefer to
stop touching that.
I prefer to think of this as more like hospital radio.
It's very like hospital radio. This one's for Irene on Ward 4.
I'm very impressed by the setup that Gareth has put together here for our little jaunt into live broadcasting.
It is amazing.
Super job.
The stuff you can't see here is...
I'm not going to move the camera. That would be fatal.
No. But the only thing I'm having a slightly hard time with is sort of line of sight, because on the one hand, sometimes we're talking and I'm looking at you. Yep. But then we've got
they're over there,
and obviously stop picking your nose. And we're monitoring the live broadcast here, and so I keep looking there to just see what's going out, and you naturally want to look at that. So,
who knows? We don't know. We've never done this before. Thank you for joining us. How many viewers have we got at the moment? Let's have a look. Oh, go away, Travis, with your message that's popped up at the wrong moment.
But on the other hand, Travis, thanks for dropping this on.
Yeah, man. Can we stop occasionally so he can nip out for a fag? There will be opportunities to stop, and here comes the first one. In the meantime, we have 194 viewers live at the moment. We'll keep abreast of that.
That's the population of a very small village. So we should all be very proud.
Welcome to the On Speed Village, or as I prefer to think of it, this is the On Speed hospital broadcast for those who are sick with cars. Or think cars are sick.
I love that it's hospital radio. I wish we could do hospital radio.
Like this? No, they'd be ill. Listen, you've got about 3 minutes to convene what you're going to tell us, and we've got 3 minutes to work out what we're going to say. Here's the first piece of music that we're playing today. We've each chosen a tune from the first 200 episodes of Gareth Jones On Speed, and the first one, because it's ladies firsts, goes to Violet Berlin, my missus, who's downstairs putting the kids to bed at the moment. And Violet chose this one, and she said...
Actually, I was going to say, Violet's actually watching this on her iPhone, because she's just tweeted to say, you're doing great, we're watching downstairs on the iPhone, hope it isn't making the bandwidth go dodgy. So
we had to get all our kids off the internet connection here today.
All our kids?
They're over 300.
How many kids have you got, Zog?
Hopefully none.
No, me too. Who knows?
I've just cranked the quality up. Let's see if we can stand it. Okay, first piece of music chosen by Violet. She says she likes this song, Richard, Zog, because I sang this one in my voice, not some sort of ridiculous impression of someone else.
Is this not the song that got you into a load of trouble?
Yes, it is, actually.
Shall we explain when you've played it? And
here's the song. The backing track was originally written by Richard, and the words and all the other bits were done by me, and it's called, it's by Sniff Petrol versus Gareth Jones On Speed. This is called Minicab Driver. Now, if I've clicked on the right thing, it will play. Let's see. Here we go, live. Yes, it worked!
Whoops.
Anyone give me time?
Here we go.
Angel.
Whoops.
Stockton, Westminster.
couldn't be much further from the French Riviera than sitting in the backseat of this Nissan Primera. I should be sipping cocktails on the Adriatic Sea. Instead I'm breathing in his lemon-scented magic tree.
Go ahead, 24.
Yeah, 2424. 24. Pick up Gareth Jones on speed. Roger.
Oh, minicab drivers aren't the best, but I doubt if this bloke could even pass the driving test. Boom, boom, here, everybody now. Boom, boom, here,
Yeah, 2424.
everybody now. For 15 minutes we've been stuck in this estate. Now he stops for petrol and I'm going to be late. He needs help navigating, so I lend a hand. But he's speaking in a language I just don't seem to understand. He doesn't get it. I don't want Westminster Abbey. It's like I'm speaking Urdu, but he's hearing Punjabi. Other modes of transport start to look real fab when you spend your time in a minicab. Other modes of transport start to look real fab when you spend your time in a minicab.
Where are you going to Westminster Abbey?
Shika-boom,
Pick up.
here we go. His springs have sprung, his dampers are damp. The seat smells worse than the stench of a tramp. But really, this trip could have been terribly bad if I'd paid 60 quid to travel in a London black cab. Ha!
24. Come back to base. Come back to base.
I think I'd rather travel in an Austin Maxi than this puke-stained, smoky, dodgy amateur's taxi now. Other modes of transport start to look real fab when you spend your time in a minicab. Other modes of transport start to look real fab when you spend your time in a minicab. I really wish I wasn't sitting in the back seat of this puke-stained, smoky, dodgy amateur's taxi. He's been driving around for 100 hours this week. He doesn't look alert, he could do with some sleep. He supplements his income with stuff he's offering me. No mate, I don't want to buy a mobile phone or a DVD.
Yeah, come back to base. Pick up Gareth Jones on speed. Yeah, Roger.
The music on his radio is weak and pathetic, so we talk about politics and the terrible traffic. He's polite on the road, not rude or unforgiving. I guess he's just like me, he's just trying to earn a living. Other modes of transport start to look real fab when you spend your time in a minicab.
Come on, Jen.
Other modes of transport start to look real fab when you spend your time in a minicab. This is the worst journey I've ever had, see? Sitting in this backseat of this illegal taxi. I think I'd rather suck and lick an ear that is waxy than travel in this puke-stained, smoky, dodgy amateur's taxi. Let me see if I think of another one. I think I'd rather have a jackboot up me jacksie than get caught in this freeze frame from the movie Quanas Catsy. Please don't make me travel in a dodgy taxi. Please don't make me travel in a dodgy taxi. Mind you, go by bike's dangerous. I can't afford to drive my car in the West End anymore. Don't tell me I've got to use public transport. Oh.
Gareth Jones On Speed, episode 200, live!
A new voice. Yeah, a new voice to Gareth Jones On Speed from number one son who made his debut. Actually, he hasn't made his debut on the show because, as you know, my children have appeared on this programme doing voices, singing and things for quite some time. And now they're tucked in bed.
Can we just recap about that song?
Oh,
Because
yes.
it does make me laugh.
How it got you into trouble.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I sent you a piece of music and said, "Oh, there's something in this about doing a song about a minicab."
Yeah.
But I couldn't really
Yeah.
be bothered to do it. So,
Yeah.
but I had over the end of the bit of music, I'd done a fake minicab radio, just going 1 2 1
Yeah.
2. Are you out there? 1 2.
Yeah.
And if memory serves, that wasn't good enough for you, and you went to your actual local minicab
Yeah,
firm
I did, yeah.
and
Yeah.
got them to record bespoke
Yeah.
audio for that song, which
Yeah.
you can hear
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
And then they heard the song
Yes.
saying that minicabs are basically
Not very good.
not very good.
Yeah.
And
Thought they'd been
and they were
conned in
very,
some way.
very cross.
They were very cross, but they're very nice people. And when I went down there and explained the context and put a thing on the website, on the Gareth Jones TV website, for the page for that song, saying that this particular car company have got nothing to do with some of the ideas in the song, and that they were perfectly reputable, they forgave me. Actually, no, they didn't.
They didn't. What? They didn't forgive you for suggesting they sell stolen mobile phones. That's funny. That I can't see a problem with that whatsoever.
It's probably safe to point this out now, but that is actually slanderous. It's libelous.
I didn't
Libelous, 'cause
suggest
There you
it
go.
was
See, I
them.
promised you slander and libel, and already
I didn't suggest it
we've
was
got
them. I used them as method
Okay,
actors.
fair point.
But they didn't realise they were being method
Objection
acting.
substantiated.
I don't think it's method acting if you are actually doing the job full time.
I see the problem
That's
you have.
not, you know,
Yeah.
it's like
My
Jeremy
lonely
Irons
friend.
or something. He just goes and does it for a bit.
It's like dramamentary, you know,
Yes.
Dramamentary.
Docu-soapery
docudrama, that kind of...
or
Hospital
what's
podcastery.
that? Scripted reality.
Yeah,
They call it now. Those things like
that's the
Towie
new
and-
word
yeah.
for reality.
And Geordie
those kind of
Shore.
reality TV.
Well, because there was an award for it or something. It was The Only Way is Essex or
Made in Chelsea.
Made in Chelsea got.
Yeah.
And they said, it's scripted reality. And we were in the Top Gear office going, I think we've been doing that for years. It's just- Speaking of which, we were going to do some questions from people. I'll just get this one out of the way because it's one of the ones that came in, which says, when is Top Gear back on the air? And the answer is I can't tell you because, and I'm not joking, BBC Publicity Department gets very, very cross if you give it away before them. It's like their only job is to tell you when shows come back on air, and if you do it before they do, they get terribly angry and you get a very cross email and your producer gets told off. So I'm not allowed to tell you, but basically it's the end of this month.
Can I suggest that you
Of
write...
course, yeah, you have to know which month this is going out in.
That's true. Who wants to say we're coming to you from the future of September?
Can I suggest that you write to Top Gear and ask them when the next series of Gaz Top Gear is going out? That'll confuse them.
That's
I'll
true.
stop them in their tracks. Okay, let's dialogue with you guys. Dialogue.
What?
It's a new verb. Let's dialogue.
Yeah, let's...
Sorry, Zog. Okay, new members of the On Speed 200 Club. Travis Ploggy, thank you very much indeed. Eric adds to the song quite nicely. I can't see that picture. What's this?
It's Eric Boulabase talking on the telly.
Eric Boulabase, of course. That's
Yes,
him. Eric,
he's very, very liquidy.
Oh, we can see that Ian is watching on an... Is he watching on an iPad? by the way?
Yes.
Nick Tabram says he's tuning in from the wilds of South Norfolk. Congratulations on 200 episodes, guys. Love the show. Even more so live. Well, thank you. Seriously, we wouldn't do this if you lot didn't decide to download it every week. An extraordinary.
Well, we might. I mean,
actually, we probably would.
we don't have a lot else going on.
Yeah, in my life,
truthful,
anyway.
So, yeah.
Oh, it's all gone a bit glum.
What else have we got on the Twitter?
Right, now I've just realised I'm accidentally watching us. I found some more questions here. We're going to answer some questions.
Go on.
And now I can't find... I should have thought of a system to say that, OK, when is Top Gear back? I know we've done that one. I can't tell you. It's the 30th of June. And disappointing weekend for McLaren. Do you guys think they can bounce back for Silverstone, says Dan Heathcote on Twitter?
No.
Quick thought? No, probably not.
No.
They're in a bad way.
Dan. No.
Yeah.
And usually I have a lot of faith in McLaren and their ability to develop a car, to improve through the season. But they seem to be in a very bad way.
It's terrible, isn't it?
I can believe they'll do better than
shocking.
11th and 12th, but I don't think it's going to be a very respectable.
I've said it before that if any team can bounce back during a season, McLaren have the strength, in depth, the ability to do that, but because of the nature of the sort of the changeability of Formula One at the moment, you really don't know how the tyres are going to play out at every race, and there's no testing unless you're Mercedes. Then they can't debug that. Everything that they have to do virtually. They have to do through simulation, and I'm not.
Which is an area where they have a problem, apparently.
Yeah, it's what perhaps is making
They
the
have a problem
situation
with the
worse.
simulation.
Didn't they have a problem, isn't it a problem in
The correlation between-
In other words,
Oh, okay. Because I thought they were never out of that simulator. Gary
No, they're
Paffett
not.
actually lives in there now.
He does now,
He just
yeah,
has a little
yeah.
colour stove.
Wife and 3 children
They
in the
catch
seat with
him
him.
not simulating something. He gets beaten by one of Martin Whitmarsh's heavies. So that's a bit of a problem. This is the old Ferrari wind tunnel.
well, as I heard,
situation.
it's that problem of the something looks good in your wind tunnel or in your simulation it looks good on the computer, but when you get into the real world, it's not behaving as your model said it would.
Like online dating, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the analogy.
Thanks.
Or like the idea of doing a live Gareth Jones on Speed in simulation.
Sounded good on paper.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, there's been
in
some
reality,
simulation.
3 drunk lads talking about Formula One.
I remind you, water gone actually, and not even Kimmy water, which as we know is vodka. This is real water because I have to drive a car later on. So
Just answer a question. I just had a question from FOM fan asking me if I've watched the FOM pit lane feed.
And what do
no,
you
I haven't
think?
actually. No, so I don't have an opinion yet. But I'll check it out and I'll let you know next time.
Have you watched it, FOM fan? We haven't watched the pit lane feed. I'm wondering how exciting that would be.
could you get that on the red button?
We
probably
could.
not on the-
I
yeah,
elected not to do it today because
Well, you could call it up now, but obviously it would just be lots of
We
people
miss it
packing
quite, I think.
boxes and Ted Kravitz wandering around. He stays there forever. I think. Did I mention this on the show before about earlier in the season? I watched the race, finished watching it, watched a bit of the coverage afterwards, turned the TV off, went out for 2 or 3 hours, came back, turned TV on. It was still on Sky F1 because I hadn't touched it, and it was still Ted Kravitz wandering around the pit lane. And I thought, that poor bloke has been there forever. It was going dark and half of the teams had left and he's still there going, oh, look, I've just found a nut on the floor. Let's talk about this for half an hour.
But he probably made
puts
that
the
a pretty
graft
interesting
in.
chat.
He
though.
would, yeah.
He
Give it
knows his
you know,
stuff. And he's good. His little notebook and everything.
what's this, the
No,
Mums and
he's
Bum Hat Appreciation
good. I know,
event
we're going to
at
be
the
talking
moment?
about him quite a lot. But,
Let's read a couple of more tweets. FOM fan as well. Can we bring Violet up, please? No, Violet is busy with children, I'm afraid. She won't come on the programme. Quite right, too. She says she doesn't know enough about cars to come on the show.
Although that is one of the
Well, I
reasons
don't
why she
think
makes a
that's
good
a barrier
contribution
to
sometimes,
entry,
because
is
she
it?
gives a good, third-party
Balance.
perspective on...
Richard looks like a giant compared to the rest of you guys.
Well,
How
he
about
is.
you all stand to show heights? Well, we can do that, but you'll see what happens.
Oh, hello.
Can we do it without...
Oh, no, hang on, I haven't got any
Watch those
trousers on.
leads.
Here we go. Right. You see, that's the problem. That's the problem.
My chin,
Hi.
Gareth's chin.
Hello. I'm a little bit
You see,
taller.
for those listening to the audio version of the podcast of this show, we did all stand up then and vanish out of frame. I did actually match our
I
children's
know, I was going to say all of
heights.
the chairs were matched, but
To
I
put our
am
eye lines at about the same.
freakishly tall.
Yeah,
so.
no, that was well planned. But
Anyone think I've done this before? Okay, Dave Stebbings. Hooray for Dave
Dave
Stebbings!
Stebbings, ultra listener.
Who has contributed to the show by writing quizzes for us in the past, as you'll know. Watching On Speed Live and the recording of the Canadian Grand Prix at the same time, I feel temporarily temporally disoriented.
So sort of fried in a
Tired.
crispy Japanese batter. The other thing has fallen off.
The Enterprise has gone.
Right as we went on air, the model Lexus fell off the top of one monitor. Now the Starship Enterprise has fallen off the top of...
By the end of the...
you need stronger
I
gaffer
get
tape.
it.
You need a better grade of gaffer tape.
Why is the top of my head red? Can you see that?
It's because
Yeah,
you've
it's
got
because-
your band on your headphones is
Yeah.
twisted.
Oh, actually, do you know what that band is? Can you see that? I made that from a Minardi F1 pass. How about that?
Really?
The inside band, yeah, because the band broke off. So, you know.
Can I? This leads
right.
me in a local and not even hospital radio way to
Yes.
one of the things I was going to bring up and invite people to write in about on Twitter or on Facebook or howsoever you choose. Don't write a letter. That will take too long. But one of the things I was wondering is the worst piece of F1 merchandise you have ever seen. Because I'm guessing there are some pretty bad examples out there, but if you've got one in particular, a genuine one, don't just make something up. Don't go, oh yeah, I once saw Leighton House panty liners. That's not real. things you've genuinely seen. Send them in. What are we doing? We're doing Twitter, hashtag on speed, or for the Gareth Jones On Speed
Facebook page, which you can just search Gareth Jones On Speed on Facebook and you'll find it. Let's see if anyone has put any messages on that area. We haven't looked there for the moment.
There's loads of stuff going on the On Speed one now, and I've not been there.
Monitoring On Speed. Okay, right, here we go. Back to On Speed then.
So, yes, has...
it's all gone quiet over here. Where's my On Speed section gone?
There's someone here, there's a man called TCB48 who's agreeing with you, Gareth, and your long-time theory about Sam Michael. He says, Sam Michael equals McLaren worst form for years. Discuss. We have discussed, haven't we? You have a very trenchant view on this, so what are your thoughts?
I'm not so sold on the Sam Michael as the root of all evil theory. I think he may have been in the wrong. He may have been not quite fitting into his role, not quite performing in his previous role at Williams. But I think at
is he head of
in
sporting
McLaren now? I think he's
sporting director at McLaren. I think, isn't he? That's his
never
role.
Knowingly over researched. Would you like me to look this up?
Yeah, go on, while you're here. Why not?
Sam,
what does the sporting
sporting
director do? Make sure you comply with the regulations and find ways round them.
Sporting director at McLaren. I'm actually more interested to see that when I typed Sam Michael, Google tried to auto-correct it to Sam Michael Fox, which leads me to believe that top page 3 girl from the 80s, Sam Fox's middle name is Michael.
Oh, really?
Which is an odd middle name for a girl, I would say.
It is
or
maybe
Michelle.
not. No, maybe it's not. This is all very confusing. It's nothing to do with Sam Fox, the page 3 girl. It's something to do with Michael J. Fox. There's a lot of Foxes. We haven't even got on to Dr. Fox.
Gareth Jones On Speed bringing you clarity as always from our
right.
thoughts.
So anyway, yes, no, Sam Michael, it's a good point. It may be not him, but it's sort of... It does feel like there's I don't know, if you drew a chart of McLaren's luck, you'd sort of say, "Oh, hang on, when did he join?"
Well, I
year before last, just before the end of the season, wasn't he? He was there for the start of last season.
Okay, when did their pit stops really go to pieces? I mean, they're sensational now, but they were
actually maybe
awful.
2 years ago. Actually,
I think that was when he started.
Yeah,
and that is coincidence, I'm sure. But.
Yeah, I think the issues that they're having this year are more likely to be related to Paddy Lowe's departure, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that he probably, I don't suppose it was a spur of the minute decision to leave McLaren for Mercedes. It wasn't as if somebody rang him up, after a race and he was there the next week. It would have been a while happening.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he wouldn't have done anything to undermine this year's McLaren car, but if he'd been thinking about leaving, it could have a bit of impact on the way.
Well, what is it they say about Formula One? If you're not going forwards,
I'd say that would be more likely.
If you're not going forwards, you're not going backwards. So if he's not doing everything he possibly can to advance the cause,
no, that's not right, is it?
Sorry, if you're not going forwards,
you're going backwards.
Is that what I didn't say? That's what I didn't say. Yeah, and if that was the case, if he wasn't sort of full flat out, then that's the consequences. It seems that there's that much room for movement, very little room for movement in Formula One. You've got to be advancing the case all the time, otherwise you get climbed all over.
Do you know what else they say in Formula One?
What do they say, Richard?
Van der Gaard! As of today, that's what they say anyway. It used to be Grosjean!
Be on your guard with Guido van der Gaard.
He had a shocker, didn't he?
He did, which is a shame because
he had a shocker.
For a youngster coming into the sport, he'd had a couple of good races. He'd had a good showing earlier in the season. You thought, oh yeah, maybe he'd had a few moments where he thought, yeah, he's maybe cut above the average here, but.
He was in, if I remember, he was in GP2, and there was a certain amount of bumper cars going on in GP2 for Van der Gaard. But there again, in GP2, everyone plays bumper cars. It is quite rough and tumble. Anyway, we'll talk more about Formula One and the stuff that
more questions
you're
we need
telling
to get
us.
Back to.
Yeah, in a moment. But first, another piece of music. This is Zog's choice. Zog, I asked you to choose one of the pieces of music that you created for the programme. Tell us why you chose this one.
I chose My Car's Electric, which was our Gary Newman tribute, which I chose partly because I'm a Gary Newman fan, always have been, and I just thought this was one that worked out really well together. And we have a very different sort of pace of collaborating on things because you knock out songs in about 2 or 3 hours.
Does it show?
You know, I will spend weeks getting
the hi-hat
4
right.
bars
of the hi-hat,
just the way I want it. And this was one where you'd given me a rough outline of a song, and I basically sort of in the process of arranging and producing the backing track, completely changed it. But and then
I made it better.
And it worked out beautifully when we brought all the elements together. And I just think it sounds good. This really.
Some of you are watching. The rest of you are listening to Gareth Jones on Speed, episode 200 live,
with music that we created ourselves, and this is Barry Newman, just like a proper DJ.
I tried with buying a Toyota, but a hybrid's not my style. I like electronics and calculators. I like calculators. Fuel's expensive if you pay by the mile. The fuel sounds for fools out. I'm not sure if it'll even work. I don't want water in my exhaust pipe, even if my car's a Merc. Hydrogen sounds like an option, although you stay in motion. Although, like you, I must admit, I'm worried about an explosion. I decided to buy myself one of those little electric cars. I know it's not large, but at least I'm exempt from paying the congestion charge. My automobile's electronic. It sometimes produces sparks. My car's electric. I'm gonna recharge it when I'm down in the park. The underground car park. My automobile's electronic. It sometimes produces sparks. My car's electric. I recharge it when I'm down in the park. Gonna buy myself a G-Wiz. It's environmentally friendly. Got little cash, up to 30 miles per hour. Oh, but I'm crash. It's cute and small and friendly. It's frankly fantastic. And just like Sinclair's C5, it's mostly made of plastic. It's iconoclastic. Oh, I'm having trouble with my BMW. I'm serious. It's the iDrive, the graphical user interface. I'm telling you, this is serious. iDrive, you drive. iDrive, you are in a vain attempt to stop pollution. I'll turn to technology for my solution. Now the cars are electronic. I'm going to get my bill by Vogue or Ensonic. Mine's broken.
Gareth Jones on Speed, episode 200, live!
Yes. That's Gareth Jones on Speed, episode 200 live, as my number one son said there, with Richard Porter, Zog, and me, Gareth Jones. But you know that already, don't you? What you don't know, and that one of you has in fact asked, is a key question about how you got here today. Have you got that?
Well, yeah, I just happened to mention earlier on that I was drinking water rather than a nice boozy drink. I still am. There we go. Because I'm driving, and someone said it's Near Khan, who's a regular correspondent, and he said, "So what are you driving today that's worth doing this sober for?" And the answer is a Reliant kitten. You don't see them around so much anymore, but they are
They're cute as
fiberglass,
hell.
so they do last. Yes, though unfortunately I left it earlier on, and when I came back, it had got to the top of the curtains, so I had to get down. No, I'm not. I'm driving the new Porsche Cayman. Is the real answer.
Which one? Is it the Cayman S?
Cayman S with the PDK paddle shift gearbox, international gesture for paddle shift. There. I should have done no, I won't have a drink. I'm driving, international gesture for driving. I'm driving a car with a paddle shift.
It's very much like the international gesture for I'm playing drums.
Yes.
My mate Nigel, who was the drummer in the Alarm, used to get people
Yeah.
saying that to him all the time. He'd say, Nigel, you still... and he'd reply, yeah, you still...
Isn't he quite a detective?
Actually, that's a visual gag. That wouldn't work in the audio podcast.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, we've got to watch it.
But, anyway, yes, I'm driving the Porsche Cayman
how is
S,
it? How is it?
The PDK box. It's very good. Yes, I have a few provisos
Very
about
good.
it, but it is very, very good. I mean, I'm quibbling slightly. My biggest proviso, probably, there's two of them. First one is that the steering. I know there's been a lot of fuss about Porsche moving to electric steering, and people got in a right old tiz about the 911 doing that. Then the Boxster came out, the new Boxster, and I drove that, and I thought it was terrific, and I couldn't really find fault with it. It was one of the best cars that I drove last year, and for that reason I think I forgot to mention it in our Cars of the Year podcast that we did just before Christmas. But this Cayman, I had a right old drive in it last night, beautiful evening, across Cheshire, and so I went for a big drive, and there is just this oddness that you really sort of turn in hard on the front end, and there's a moment where you're not entirely sure what's going on. In the old Cayman, in a lot of Porsches, they let you know exactly what's happening. Oh, just a little loss of grip there. And,
It's a little bit isolated
There's a
from
bit
the
of a
road.
lack of information that you would normally expect from a Porsche. It's a tiny quibble, and I may be starting to sound like a bit of a helmsman, but yeah, it's just there. It was just bothering me slightly.
But here's a question: do you think that's the kind of thing that can be developed out of the system? You know, in other words, can that electric power steering be, tweaked to put back the feedback that you're missing?
There are some inherent problems with electric power steering that mean it inherently doesn't transmit, but I mean it's still very good. You'd struggle for the most part to know it's electric power steering. Something Porsche do incredibly well is this sense that the steering wheel is absolutely locked tight to the front wheels. There's no slack in it at all, which is it makes it sort of, you have to concentrate on the motorway a little bit, because if the motorway surface is a bit rippled or rutted, it does wander, because it's just it's fine. I mean, it's a sports car.
You've driven Elise, you've driven Exige S?
No, I haven't. But I've driven Elises a few times. Yeah.
Less communicative than an Elise.
Yeah,
Everything in the world
Elise,
is.
Oh, no, Elise is, apart from maybe a Caterham, it's extraordinary. Elise is just, yes, but that's a whole different thing. The only other quibble I have with the Cayman is a strange problem, and possibly a sort of German problem. It's very long geared, and the engine needs rev. So if you're going round twisty British country lanes,
Stay down.
you gotta
keep changing.
Well, you do. You find yourself in second. Yeah, keep.
Talk to a Porsche driver.
Just change gear more often.
No,
Change
it's
gear
it's
off.
fine.
Yeah.
It's just that sometimes it's too easy. You come into a corner and it's too easy to think, well, this is a third gear corner. If it's a road you know, and I was on some roads that I know quite well last night, and it's a road you know, and you think this is a third gear corner. This is a beautiful sort of, you come in on a trailing throttle in third gear. I really am sounding quite helmy now, I'm sorry. And then, you just got clear line of sight to boot it out the other side. And because it's so long geared, actually in third, you suddenly
feel
go,
like
oh, no, it's bogging down. And it's okay, because you just flick your finger and it's into second, but it's slightly frustrating. And second, you can go up to like 60 miles an hour in second, possibly a bit more, possibly like 65. Third takes you beyond 90. It's like, but I just think, because it's a 7-speed gearbox, like you could have actually stacked the bottom ratios. Seventh is
together.
very, very tall indeed. As a consequence of which, it was doing like 32 miles to the gallon on the motorway.
Yeah,
so 3.4 litre 6-cylinder car.
That's how they're getting it.
Well, they'll tell you the way they're getting it very quickly is it has this what they call a sailing function, which is not something that sticks a mast up.
Yeah.
It when you lift off the throttle, freewheels.
Yeah.
And it's really distracting, because once you've sort of hooked into it, you see the rev counter. I'll do it so it's for the camera, but the rev counter suddenly goes like that, and just drops to idle, and you're doing 70 miles an hour. It's weird.
But this is the freewheeling thing.
Yeah.
I was under the impression there was some bit of legislation that meant that you couldn't build a freewheeling car, or that it was illegal. There was some. It was basically against the law to build a car that would freewheel.
I don't know.
Well,
I reckon there's
every
stuff
car that
built into it.
every car we drive freewheels the second you put your foot in the clutch. You
Yeah, you can
disengage the
freewheel
motor,
yourself
don't you?
just by
Yeah, but
dipping
I think,
the clutch.
but that's a driver-operated thing rather than the car.
But here's the
under some
thing:
automatic
maybe they can get around it,
maybe that's what
because
it is.
the second that you touch the accelerator or the brake more than You know, if you sort of lift it off just because you can see there's some traffic on the motorway, that's when it'll go into coasting mode.
Yeah.
But as soon as you then just put a little nidge of throttle back on, and it comes back in, it drops the clutch back in, essentially, which I can't help thinking isn't good for it. But anyway,
I've just thought, you know what? Somebody who knows about this could tell us.
Yeah.
Somebody out there tell
right,
us.
if you're a Porsche
and we can
engineer,
move on.
or just someone with a bloody good idea of how it might work,
Or an internet connection at the moment, and you're not making a programme. Have a look at how this works and let us know. I'm supposed to know how.
Yeah, I've just got one question. Can I answer this question really quickly before I forget it? It's from Tom Hill, who's at Jazz Penguin on Twitter.
No, unless it relates to the Cayman.
It does.
Okay,
sort
yes.
of.
Yeah.
Well, it's a genuine question. He says, what's your best Cheshire driving road? And I don't know any of the road numbers, but basically sort of Wilmslow to Mobley and then over towards Pever and that way. Go past the Frozen Mop and that.
There's a lovely section of the salt mines. What's it called?
Frozen Moth.
The salt mines near you.
They're down in towards Northwich and Nantwich.
Nantwich sort of way.
Yeah, no,
There's
it's
some good
North
stuff
Cheshire.
there.
But yes, anyway, I don't know. Email me and we'll talk about it.
A quick couple of messages from various people. Alex Goy from the Mighty X-Car says he's late to the party, but he's watching. Nice to have you with us. Best UK driving roads. This one from James Lawford. The A4059 between Brecon and
I know that one.
Penderyn.
That is a lovely road. Yes. If I'd been there, I would have driven down that.
Yeah. James Lawford also says he hopes there was a dab of Oppo.
There wasn't really. Oh, there was one, but it was also a bit accidental.
Really?
Yeah.
More on that in a bit. All right, listen, we're going to play you some bits now, but before we do that, I want to see Zog's reaction to this. Right, watch Zog's face.
But
really
you've set this
carefully.
up. You've this.
I just want to know how he's going to react to
Is
this.
this the thing we were talking about on the phone?
Well, you saw a car today.
Yeah.
Give me
saw-
too much time. Come on, I'm not going to this fresh. Whatever it is.
Richard saw a car today. When he told me what it was, I said, you've got to tell Zog what that car is. Tell Zog what you saw. Watch his face.
Zog, you like a Porsche, don't you?
I do like a Porsche.
I saw a Porsche that I think you'll like.
Come on then.
And if you want to know what that particular Porsche is and what Zog's reaction to it is, then you're just going to have to download part 2 of Gareth Jones On Speed, episode 200 live, available now from GarethJones.tv and the iTunes store.
Fantastic! Absolutely incredible! Fantastic! Absolutely incredible!
To send us an email, see pictures, get song lyrics, join our Facebook fan site, follow us on Twitter, or to find out about sponsorship opportunities, go to GarethJones.tv. Gareth Jones On Speed is made in London by Whiz Bang.
Gareth Jones On Speed!